Hello. Hello, my name is Alejandro Aguilera, and my partner for this project was Genesis Barrios, and we were working on the virtual roll call system. So our product owners were Jason Cohen and Frank Alvarado, and our professor is Masad Sajadi, and we'll get right into it. So the virtual roll call was a system created to make it more efficient for police officers in their day-to-day lives. Instead of sitting down in meetings at the beginning of their shifts, they could just log into the application and they would see all the new information that they needed to know for the day, such as new watch orders, new documents, or new things that their officers assigned to them. So the application was already developed and currently being used at the Pinecrest Police Department. But we are in charge of updating it and recreating it in a more modern setting. So we're trying to recreate it using a more modern stack. So we're using the mean stack. Mean stands for MySQL, Express, Angular, and Node. We're attempting to keep the VRC project to be the same visually and to have all the same functionality as the older versions, except in a more stable and updated technological format. Database schema will be kept the same also, to try to keep the transition good between the two systems. So this is a Gantt chart of our project. And here you can see sprint 1. We spent a lot of time doing the initial planning and analyzing the previous project because a big factor of ours was that we wanted to keep it modular. So each feature attempts to have its own component using the Angular component system. And this would cause more easy to read, easy to understand code. An issue with the previous PHP version was not just that the technology, the language, and all that was getting a little bit outdated, and the new ones we're using is future proofing it for a few more years. We're also attempting to make it easier to understand so that future coders can go through and they'll be able to easily distinguish what each thing does, trying to avoid a spaghetti code issue, if you will. And then the rest of the sprints were just spent working on the user stories split up, some taking longer than others. This is a list of all of our user stories. They each cover different features of the project. And this is our use case for what we currently have developed in our application. Everything here. This is an example of a sequence diagram. This one is for the upload document feature of the application. Here's one for the change password feature of the application. Our system design architecture, so our client, mainly Angular, our server, Node.js. This is our deployment. So our view is a combination of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, and Angular. Our controller is a combination of Angular again, TypeScript, and JavaScript. And our model is Node, Express.js, SQLize, and MySQL, a combination of the four. A big important thing for us was security and privacy. Is one of the first things we developed actually was the authentication for the application. So you can only log in if you are in an already created account. That's the only way you can view anything in the application. Besides that, you're like stuck in the initial login screen and you can't get past it unless you have an account created. And also password security. Passwords are hashed using bcrypt. It's one of the built-in Node.js libraries. We tested it out to make sure that the password privacy is kept even inside of the databases. And this is the class diagram. The class diagram should stay the same throughout the future versions of this application, since we planned for it to be like this in future like modular setup. The only differences might be that there might be more methods in the future as more groups develop the features. This is one of the main algorithms for grabbing categories. So a dashboard view, it'll loop through the category page and displays links. the controller does a call for get categories, and it sends a request for it, and then the model does a SQLize, or uses the SQLize function to get the categories from the database, and then that pushes it through and displays it. In summary, our re-implementation of the virtual roll call has completed most of the officer roles functionality and some of the supervisor roles functionality. Users can view categories, documents, archive documents, change password, and take quizzes. And supervisors can upload, edit, and delete documents, and they can create quizzes for those documents. User features that are still in progress and that were not completed in time were reference documents, video documents, and watch orders. And we made sure that the code that we created was modular, so it'd be easy to understand. That is one of the main important features of our re-implementation. And that is the intro video for our Spring 2020 VRC project. Thank you for watching.